Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the 2020 Global Read Aloud. I am Mr. Sarlo, and we are back with Planet Omar Accidental Trouble Magnet, and today we are reading Chapter 11. Okay, so in Chapter 10, Omar had a little run-in with Daniel, the bully, who seems to be the bully at school. At least he's picking on Charlie and Omar, and in the last chapter, he sprinkled some sand on Omar's chicken sandwich that he was really looking forward to. And, Omar made a smart comment to him and said, well, now I guess it's really a sandwich, which I cracked up at. I think that is absolutely hilarious thing to say. And the perfect comeback in that situation. But Daniel did not think it was that funny, and he tried to headbutt Omar in the stomach, and he wound up on top of some poor girl by accident, and he got in big trouble. While he was getting in trouble, or maybe it was a little bit after that, he made a comment to Omar about Omar being Muslim, okay? And it was a derogatory comment. It was a mean comment about Omar's Muslim heritage. And being Muslim in England is considered being a minority. And as you guys might know, sometimes people might have certain feelings about minorities that are not well-founded. And Daniel seems to be using, Omar's heritage as part of a way that he can bully him. So Daniel made the comment, you're Muslim. I saw your mom, or the worst thing about you is that you're Muslim. Okay? So that's a completely inflammatory, even like racist comment. And Omar's kind of very confused by it. Daniel called his mom a witch, and Omar didn't really understand it at all. Okay? But what he was worried about was not being able to talk to his parents about it, and he also considered talking to his sister about the incident with Daniel, but his sister maybe not so reliable because she has in the past kind of told on him or snitched on him for something that he had done at home or some way that he had gotten in trouble at home. Okay, so let's go ahead and read Chapter 11 to see what happens next with the story of Omar and what is going to happen next. Chapter 11. I knew there was one person I could trust to talk about Daniel, my cousin Reza. And luckily, we were going up to Manchester to visit a couple of days after the sand disaster. I was bursting to ask him whether he'd heard about Muslims getting kicked out of the country. Did Daniel just make that part up? Could it possibly be real? Reza, I'm not sure. I'm going to say Reza. Reza is super cool. He's 12. He's the kind of kid that knows a lot about everything. If anything happens to his bike, he can fix it using his dad's tools. And I've even seen him changing the oil in his mom's little red car, which he calls a clunker. And when we walk around in Manchester with him and his family, lots of people always say, hi. Reza must have really great pester power skills, or maybe he knows hypnosis because he literally has everything he wants. That's one of the reasons I love going there, because we have 2 days of playing on his Xbox as much as we want and always have a midnight feast. Yum. I'm pretty sure almost every Muslim has cousins in Manchester. I was wondering if they were all interesting as mine while I finished packing my backpack when my dad shouted up the stairs, "Get in the peanut, everyone. We're leaving in 2 minutes." You might be wondering how we could all get into a peanut. We can't. This is what we call the peanut. It's a 4x4, but look at the license plate. Okay? I don't know if you guys could see that. The license plate says peanut there, so I'll hold that up for a second. Pretty funny. There are some things that always happen on our road trip to Manchester. Mom packs too much food for the journey. Dad complains when he is putting the luggage in the car. We always stop at the rest area and eat hot food so Mom's journey food is uneaten. And Dad says, "I told you so." As we were loading the car with all our stuff, Mrs. Rogers came out into her front yard to put a bag in the garbage can. But instead of just going back inside, she stood and watched us with suspicious eyes. I waved at her and gave her my best smile, just to see what would happen. She gave me her best blank expression. She must be the meanest person on the planet after Daniel Green. When we were on the highway, Issa started saying he needed to pee. "But it's only been 40 minutes, said Dad. Mom said, "I knew I shouldn't have given you that apple juice." Dad said he had to hold it until we got to the rest area, but Mom said he was only little and couldn't hold it that long. Miriam said we should have put a diaper on him because he's a big fat baby. Dad said to stop being so rude. I hate it when we are stuck in the car and everyone is being all stressed out, and I also hate the thought of Issa peeing on the seat right next to me. I mean, how yuck. All right, I don't know about you guys, but I'm kind of making a connection there to, I'm in the middle like Omar, I think I mentioned in a previous video, and I have an older brother and a younger brother. So when we would go on road trips together as a family, and you're all jammed together in the back seat of a car or van or whatever, it can be very uncomfortable, and your brothers or your brother and your sister in this case can do things that are very annoying to you. So those of you with siblings or cousins or something like that have been on a road trip could probably make a connection there as well. I would end up sitting in a puddle of his pee. Ugh, gross. So I stared out the window and imagined myself on my rollerblades riding alongside all the cars and faster than them. So fast that there was a jet of fire blazing out the back of them. And then I said, "Rollerblades, lift off." And they took me all the way to the moon. I don't actually have any rollerblades, and I don't know how to roller skate, but that's the great thing about imagining. You can do anything you want, except pee. For that, we had to stop on the shoulder of the road so Issa could let it out. I asked my parents why it was called the shoulder. Nobody knew. This is why my parents should let me have my own smartphone, because then I could have just looked it up myself. That night, while we pretended to be asleep on our row of mattresses on Aunt Sumaya's living room floor, Reza told me that Daniel was right. We were all going to be kicked out of the country, and we were probably going to have a World War III. I gulped. He told me that we would all have to go and live in Pakistan. Have you ever been to Pakistan? I said. Yeah, once when I was 5. What's it like? Will we like living there? I felt sick. I didn't want to live in a strange place I'd never been to. The 5 bars of chocolate that we had snuck into our beds and eaten attempted to make their way back up my throat. Well, the pizza is yuck, and you can hardly understand what people are saying, Reza said. Why? Because they speak in Urdu. You can't speak Urdu, can you? No. I lay awake for ages after Reza had fallen asleep. I imagined his quiet snoring sounds were from H2O instead, and that my pillow was resting on H2O's back. It made me feel better to know that wherever we had to move to, I could take him with me. At breakfast, there was such a big feast of food on the table that I forgot all about Daniel and Pakistan. Uncle Fahad had even pulled out last night's leftover chicken wings. What's that? Asked Issa. Meat, said Dad. Where did it come from? A chicken. Did it lay it? Everyone burst into laughter. Uncle Fahad choked on his juice. And that is the end of chapter 11. Okay, so in this chapter, they took a road trip to Manchester. So I did confirm that I know from reading the author's biography, like I said in the intro, Zanimian is from England. And they're going to a city called Manchester, which is a city in England. Okay, so they're taking a road trip over there, and Omar was looking forward to talking to his cousin Reza about the things that Daniel had said. And instead of kind of easing Omar's mind about it, Reza kind of made it worse and confirmed his worst fears, and said that there might be World War III, and that they might have to go live back in Pakistan, which is probably not true. I don't know where Reza got that from. But again, Reza is only 12. He might not necessarily know what he's talking about either. So either way, Omar, instead of feeling better about what Daniel had said, probably feels a bit worse about it and is a little bit more nervous about the comments that Daniel had made. All right, so that was chapter 11. And we will pick back up with chapter 12 next time. See you guys.